Okay, so I heard you guys were having some trouble with the candidate lab. So I'm going to see if I can help you out a little bit. So I'm just creating a new project, a new empty project. And I'm going to have a candidate. Oh, I want this. I want to make sure this goes in the SRC folder. So I want to make a candidate class. And then switch over here, and I want to make a candidate list class. And I'll make my tester class. I'm going to just call it tester if I want. Let me see. I'll call it candidate tester. And then I'll put my main method in here, just to kind of take care of it to begin with. All right, so here I'm going to come over here, and I have this. I'm going to cut and paste this stuff. So this is for my candidate list. And this one is for my candidate class. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're going to have a list of candidates. We're going to have candidates, and then we have a list of candidates. And then we want to get the viable, like, if it's over 10%, they're viable for candidates. This is like in an election. So we want to write the compute vote percents, get viable list, and print viable. Okay, so, and then there's a tester. So we will, oh, this is Tuesday. I'm going to fill in the constructor right now. So I'm going to say we will fill in the constructor via video. Okay, so here's the candidate class. I'm going to come up here and look. We should at this point be able to fill in this. So anywhere that says implementation, I'm going to try and get it to go away. So I'm going to get it to work here. So I'm going to say, take member, the instance variable, and set it equal to the parameter. And then this one's same. Okay, so my name becomes name. And this should have been easy enough. My num votes becomes votes. Okay. Oh, num votes. So there's this. Set vote percent, get name, get num votes, get vote percent. Okay, those are all here. Okay, so what are we going to do? It asks you to complete the vote percents, get a viable list, and print viable. So print viable should actually be pretty easy. If you would like, you can put a toString here. I think that's what I'm going to do here, because then my print viable is going to be really easy. I can just use the toString from public string. toString. I can just use the toString from here and the toString from ArrayList to print the viable list. So the toString from here will be, I want the name. So return. Let's do this. String, I don't know, X becomes, I want the name plus a little space plus, I think this was my name. And then I'm going to have here their vote percent. So my vote percent. So since we have this toString like we talked about in class, you can print out an array list from here. Okay. And viable is held in an array list. So we can just use this toString to print it out from candidate, which is nice. Okay. So this is all filled in. We're going to go over here to candidate list. And I'm going to show you how to plug in the stuff for the constructor. So in the constructor, we're reading in the name and number of votes for all the candidates. So we're going to at some point want a total in here. We don't really care about the total overall, but we're going to want the total of votes. That's why it's not up here. But we are going to want the total of votes. So I'm going to just declare that here because when I compute the vote percents, actually, let's think about this. It may be a good idea to have that total up here. So we'll hit private int total votes. So, because if we want to use it down here, then let's just make it a global variable so we can use it through the whole class. So, the first thing I'm going to do is this. I had another thought like, oh, maybe I could just use this inside of the constructor, but I think I'm just going to make it easy and declare this up here, and then we can compute the vote percents down here. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to ask the user. So I'm going to say system.out.print how many candidates do you have? Or let's say are in the election. And we're going to say keyboard.next int, but we want to save that in my num candidates because that's going to give me the amount of candidates that I have. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is before I forget, I'm going to purge out. I talked about this in the last video, but I'm going to purge out the new line character that comes right after that. So now that that's purged out so that I can read the next thing in, I'm going to fill my list. So well, first of all, I'm going to instantiate it. So my CList becomes, and it's full of candidates, candidate, and it is the length of my num candidates because that's how many candidates I have. Okay. So now I want to set each of those things, like I want to fill each of the elements. So I'm going to say for, I'm going to do that with, I can do it with a for each loop if I want. Let me think about this. Let's not do that right away. I can use a for each loop later because there's nothing in the list. Well, there's nothing in the list, so let's just do it. Kind of indecisive right now. For each candidate, we'll try it out. That's how we best learn. For each candidate in the list of, saying spelling things wrong, candidate. Let's see what my spelling error is. I don't think I have this spelling error. I don't see that I have a spelling error, but I'll just copy and put this here. So I'm going to put for each candidate in my CL list. Candidate, I'm having trouble spelling today, becomes new candidate. And then what do I need for a candidate? I need a name and a number of votes. So I have to ask up here. So I'm going to do something like this. Why this got squeezed out here? Oh, didn't like that I wanted to do that. So, oh boy, what happened there? I didn't want to open the system class. Okay, how many candidates? We don't want to say how many candidates are in the election. We would like to say, I think I may have a missing bracket, which is why all this stuff is happening. Let's see. Do I have a missing bracket at the end? I think so. I do. There we go. Where's my missing bracket? Oh, I put a bracket here instead of a parentheses. Wow, all my problems are solved. And one here too. Oh. All right, system.out.println and I print, and I want to say, what is the name of your candidate? I should say the first candidate. And then I'm going to say, instead of my num candidates, I am going to say name, and I'm going to read in a line instead of an int. But the next thing I'm going to say is going to say, how many votes did this candidate have? And then I'll say votes. Now remember, I gotta read after I do an int, I have to read in this to get the new line out. Now, I forgot to declare here, string name, int votes. Now this is gone, but we're still not liking this. Maybe this is because I haven't filled it yet or done anything with it. So I'm gonna need a name and a num votes. I'm gonna name votes. This should be good. It still doesn't like this. Let's see why. All right, so since this is not filled, I'm going to go back up here and make this a for loop. So for in I, like sometimes you just try things, they don't work. Doesn't like it because none of them are filled yet. So I'm just going to fill it right now, and then I can use a for each loop. I is less than my CL list dot length I plus plus. And so now we'll say my C list at I. So here we are. So this didn't work, and I tried to use the for each loop since these are not, since they're all equal to null right now, it doesn't want me to do that, which is fine. So I'm going to use the indices. So I'm using a for loop. Here I'm asking for the name. Here I'm asking for the votes. And here I am filling in the candidate. But I have to remember that I need to fill up the total votes, right? So I'm going to go like this because total votes, remember we have was up here. So I'll say total votes plus equals. Well, I'll set it equal to 0 up there, and then I'll say plus equal